Hi, I'm Ken Callander. Welcome to Racing's Top 10. In this episode, we span back 30 years and feature 10 great autumn upsets. The first, at number 10, was the 1995 Newmarket handicap. On Saturday, Super Saturday, March 11, 1995, punters went to Flemington to see the short-priced favourite Hariba at even money win the Newmarket handicap and Jearn at long odds on win the Australian Cup. Firstly, the big upset was in the Newmarket. Hariba didn't win, but All Our Mob, trained by Gai Waterhouse and ridden by Wayne Harris at long odds, gets the cash.
Out on the grandstand, Poetic King and the heavyweight are battling it out, but I think it's the flat at the 200-metre mark. It's Hariba under the whip. Moss Rocket is coming after him quickly. Hariba in front, he has to fight. He's a half a length to Moss Rocket, and All Our Mob is swapping them. All Our Mob flies over the top, and All Our Mob gets up to win it. All Our Mob from the photo. Hariba, I think, second from Moss Rocket.
All Our Mob recently changed stables, only having its second start for the Gai Waterhouse stable, ridden by Wayne Harris, and upset the hot pot here, Hariba, and ran outstanding time, 1:08.2, and he went on to win some major races throughout his career as well. All Our Mob, he was a great sprinter and later a middle distance horse as well.
All Our Mob was a really good horse, but we thought more of him as a mile or middle distance galloper, and on a different level too. Just at that time, Gai wasn't winning all that many Group 1s in Melbourne, so it was a double whammy shock here that he was able to run down the best boosters in the country and land this Group 1 winner at Flemington over the 1200.
All Our Mob, geez, he's a handy sprinter. He had plenty of homes, didn't he? And I tell you what, I reckon this race will be remembered for one thing. It was a gem of a ride from a bloke that we've got to know in the media for so long, Wayne Harris. He won a Melbourne Cup on Jearn, but this was a gem of a ride on All Our Mob.
At number 9, we have the 1995 Australian Cup. I've already given you the heads up. Jearn was the long odds-on favourite. But it was the West Australian mare Starstruck, ridden by Mark Miller, trained by Kay Miller, and the whole operation overseen by her husband, Johnny Miller, the former champion jockey of Galilee. Let's see how Starstruck defied Jearn.
And Station Hand running into it wider out on the course. They were followed by Starstruck and Oppressor when they enter the straight. Now Jearn having a bumping duel there with Lord Majestic. He has got into the clear though at the 400. Oh, Solve It punctured. Durbridge went straight past him. Durbridge in front now. Station Hand issues the threat. And 3 lengths back is Jearn. He's starting to come with Starstruck. Station Hand and Durbridge at the 200. Lead 2 lengths to Starstruck and Jearn, who are closing. Now Starstruck hits the front. Starstruck in the centre, the leader from Jearn, Station Hand. Jearn coming after Starstruck. Starstruck, Jearn, a bobbing go. Starstruck has won it.
I remember this race. I was on Jearn. Wayne Harris, I think it was $1.50. He might have been somewhere around that price. I was only a little learner back then, and I still am now. But I remember backing him. He ranged up. I thought it was just going to be a matter of how far. He wasn't good enough.
Starstruck was a Tommy Smith discard. You go over about the 40 or 50 years that Tommy was dominant. Not many horses left his stable and did much. Starstruck did, because Starstruck went to John Miller in Perth. Now, John is perhaps one of the more controversial figures in Australian racing, but he's also one hell of a horseman, one of the best. He developed Starstruck into a Group 1 horse. Starstruck was trained by Miller, was owned by his wife Kay, ridden by his son Mark, a real family effort.
At number 8, we have the 1995 Canterbury Guineas, won by the 66 to 1 shot Shaskay. Now, I've added up 9 trainers who trained Shaskay, but when he won the Guineas, his trainer was Gai Walter, and the jockey, the king of the coalfields, Robert Thompson.
In the straight, the leader, Stony Bay, tackled by Dane Wynn and Persian Flyer. Persian Flyer on the outside is running the race of his life. Persian Flyer coming at Dane Wynn. Look at Shaskay down the outside. He's coming home right over the top of them, Shaskay. Shaskay went past those leaders like they were tied to the fence at any old odds.
Shaskay, let me recall the incident. Shaskay, now Shaskay was originally trained by Brian Mayfield Smith, but he decided to go into safari in Africa, and about 6 or 7 days before the race, Shaskay was transferred to Gai Walter. So, well, perhaps Guy improved it, or it was just that Mayfield Smith polish had remained. But Shaskay scored an upset win. Was it Dane Win Jackie Che a beat? Yeah, well, there's a couple of words there that explain why Shaskay might have won.
Well, this was a boil over. Shaftesbury had been beaten in the Hawkesbury Guineas at his previous start on a slow track, and he started 80 to 1 here. He was a funny horse. He ended up being trained by about 15 different people at stages. He'd have 2 or 3 runs for a stable and then change hands, but Shaftesbury was too good in the Canterbury Guineas, upsetting a lot of the shorties in this race.
At number 7, it's the 2009 Lightning Stakes. What a field this was. We had Weekend Hustler, Apache Cat, but the winner at 20 to 1 was the West Aussie Scenic Blast.
At the 800 metres have all crossed to the inside, and Valander had the lead to Swiss Ace. Just in behind those horses, 7th Rock out a bit wider, followed by Grandules, Let Me Entertain You. Weekend Hustler and Apache Cat are racing together, and Typhoon Z is out very wide on the course, and they're followed then Snappy Tom and then Scenic Blast, and Sweat was last, but only 5 or 6 covered the field. Valander at the 400 led by a length, Grandules, Swiss Ace, Typhoon Z running on, Apache Cat and Weekend Hustler trying to get runs through the field. They've got a bit of work to do, the pair of them. It's Valander tackled by Grandules, Typhoon Z, Swiss Ace behind them, Scenic Blast is running on. It's Grandules, Valander, Typhoon Z, Scenic Blast. Scenic Blast from Perth. He blows them away and scores 3/4, Typhoon Z.
When you look back now, it's probably not the upset that it might read on paper, but this was the year that Weekend Hustler was the boom, and he was the even money favourite for this race. Horse had come over from WA with good credentials. If you only knew what was going to happen after with Scenic Blast, you'd go on and win the Newmarket and then go straight to England and win the King's Stand. This was no shot, but on the day it was, because Weekend Hustler went under.
Well, Scenic Blast is one of those sort of horses that lacked charisma, but he certainly had ability. He had ability and he had courage, and it took him a long, long way.
We're into the action now, and we've got more coming up after this break.
Keep it locked to TVN this Saturday for full coverage of strong winter racing. Join Richard Callander and Richard Haynes at Rosehill Gardens for the highlight of the day, the listed $100,000 ATC Winter Cup.
And on the post he said, "Blast the rest of you, I'm the winner."
And don't miss exclusive on-course action from Moonee Valley, where Jason Richardson and Shane Templeton will lend you a hand in picking a winner. That's all live this Saturday on your premier thoroughbred racing channel, TVN.
International Animal Health, the Australian company, make a range of quality products which help improve the health, growth and performance of your animals. Our goal, like yours, is the achievement of their full potential. So when you next need an animal health product, look to International Animal Health for a range of products to suit your animal's needs, including high-performance nutrition, probiotics, worming, first aid and grooming. Our business is growing your animals better.
Dynamics indications with leading trainer Chris Waller have available a spectacular filly by a champion related to, descending from and with a champion. By High Chaparral, sire of 95.6% runners to earners, including So You Think, Shootout and It's a Done Deal. Our filly is closely related to More Joyous, both sharing Denise's joy as their third dam. In the stables of Chris Waller, shares are just 6,500. Visit dynamicsindications.com or call 1800 619999.
Welcome back. Let's get back to the action. At number 6, we have the 2006 Australian Cup, won by Roman Arch. What a controversial win this was. He was big odds, and his 3 previous runs had been 9th, 11th and 9th. It's no wonder stewards opened an inquiry into the performance. Here's Roman Arch.
At the 200-metre mark, he is kicked in. He's a length in front of our Smokin' Joe. Lad of the matter just struggling. Roman Arch getting out with Candy Vale. Vroom Vroom in front with 100 to go. Here comes Roman Arch and Candy Vale. Roman Arch of Boilover's got up to win the Australian Cup.
Roman Arch is respected as a really good, honest, sort of middle-class galloper. And I still really find it hard to believe that he actually won an Australian Cup. Now, for everybody involved, I'm wrapped, but it was a total surprise at the time.
I watched the replay a dozen times. I still can't believe it was Roman Arch. I went back through his form. I said, you sure it's Roman Arch in the weight for age race here? Yeah, it was too good. Robbie Lang, just a good battling, good Aussie trainer. Trains a lot of jumpers in the bush down in Victoria. And to get an Australian Cup, I think it'll be more remembered for the highlight for a good bloke in Robbie Lang.
Roman Arch was an upset. I think one of the most distinguishing features of Roman Arch was he was ridden by Craig Newitt. I think Craig had turned around about 21 at the time and showed his great potential as a jockey.
At number 5, we have the 2003 BMW at Rosehill. Do you want to see a great race? You watch this one. Northerly, one of my all-time favourites, was expected to win. If he didn't win, Republic Lass was there to cause the upset. But the upset was caused by D. Beedman on the 20-to-1 chance Freemason. Have a look at this.
Up by the 1,500 metres mark, and Freemason sat back on the steel. Northerly's in close touch the outside, and they've raced out. Speed looked good. They're 4 or 5 on St Reems, 5 away Hellenus on the outside of Henderson Bay. 3 lengths to Republic Lass, and she'll have to chase hard. 2 lengths away National Treasure as they go by the 1,200 metres mark. Freemason in front. Beedman now puts a bit of a squeeze on up front and slows down the tempo. 3/4 on the great horse Northerly, and Payne's aggressive today. He's serving it up to Northerly on the outside to tackle Freemason. There's 6 lengths on St Reems, 1.5 to Hellenus. Then came Henderson Bay. Boss getting a bit concerned about to go forward on Republic Lass. He's 8 lengths away from Northerly and 2 away National Treasure. In the BMW, they're at the 700. Northerly is trying to break Freemason's heart, and he's got his head in front, the great fighting tiger. There's 6 lengths St Reems, 2 Hellenus. They were followed by Henderson Bay. Republic Lass has got a mountain of work to do. She spots the almighty horse about 10 as they turn. Then came National Treasure. Freemason is not going to give in without a fight. He and Northerly in an epic battle swing together. Paddy's gone for the shillelagh, and Northerly's got his head in front of Freemason. 5 away is Republic Lass running on. Northerly's in front. Freemason is fighting back, but Northerly loves a street fight, and Republic Lass is coming down the centre. She's running out under pressure. Freemason just in front. Northerly, Republic Lass. Freemason off the canvas. Northerly's having another dig. Northerly, Freemason, Northerly. Oh, Freemason!
What a remarkable race this was. They went hammer and tong, Freemason and Northerly, from about the 1,000-metre mark, and most expected that Freemason would be the first to crack and Northerly would get the upper hand. But it wasn't the case. Freemason wouldn't lie down. He'd been soundly beaten by Northerly's previous start. He started 100-to-1 here. Northerly probably not quite as good the Sydney way of going. Freemason just too good on the day.
Beedman showed his greatness in this ride. But then again, you can bag Patrick Payne, but if you'd said before the race, put him into a street fight, you would have wanted to be on Northerly, because Northerly was a magnificent, a tough, a gallant stayer. But on this day, Freemason and Darren Beedman were better.
Not often you get into a 2-horse tug-of-war or battle royale and you beat Northerly. He doesn't get beat. This day he did.
At number 4, we have the Group 1 2011 Ranvet Stakes at Rosehill. Now, the winner was Zavit. He started at 100-to-1. How did he start at such big odds? He won over 2.4 million in prize money. But the field was a hot one, and he wasn't expected to beat them. Running second, we had the Caulfield Cup winner, Desperado. And running third, the runner-up in the Melbourne Cup, My Lucky Day.
So Zavit shows out in the early stages at the end of 400 metres, leading out by a half a length on Desperado. Then Sacred Choice on the outside of Keep the Peace, and Illustrious Blue is starting to roll forward from the back of the field, going up to third but out wide. My Lucky Day is second last, and Hawk Island last. into the back stretch. 1400 to go, not a lot of speed on, and Zavit led by 3/4 Desperado and Illustrious Blue going up on the outside, and he'll press forward now and go for the lead. Then about 2 lengths behind them, Sacred Choice, followed by Keep the Peace, Lucky Day second last, and Hawk Island last. Halfway along the back, and the leader is Zavit. Illustrious Blue, after working forward 3 deep, is now slotted in outside the leader. Desperado now trailing him, so he's back to third. Keep the Peace next, followed by Sacred Choice. Then Hawk Island second last, and Lucky Day is last of all. At the 900, they're working towards the side of the course, and Zavit just rolling along at his own tempo, led by 3/4 Illustrious Blue. Desperado third, now he's switched out 3 wide to try and edge up, followed by Keep the Peace, Sacred Choice, Hawk Island and Lucky Day. It's still a mile back as they come to the home turn. Cassidy gave him a crack with a whip, running up towards the bend, and Zavit on the inside led. Desperado strides up, looks menacing, and as they turn for home, Desperado claimed the lead from Zavit. Then further back behind them next, we've got Illustrious Blue, Keep the Peace next, Hawk Island, and then Sacred Choice, and further back Lucky Day as they run to the 200. Desperado the leader. Zavit tries to rally on the inside. He's not done with yet, Zavit. Desperado is just in front. Zavit comes back along the inside. It's Desperado and Zavit. They're stride for stride down to the line, and Zavit, after being clearly headed, came back to win it. Well, you probably would have had a crystal ball to think that Zavit would win this race. He'd run second last in the Chipping Norton Stakes in his previous start, but here he was bopping away up on the speed all the way. He looked beaten at about the 200 metre mark, but he rallied, came again, and at long odds he was able to take out the Group 1.
Plenty of good stars behind him too, and we all thought, well, they'll get to Zavit. They'll get to Zavit. He just kept on going. My money was gone at the turn, but like a punter, you hold out hope. But plenty of upsets, and this was just another one.
Zavit, yeah, well, Zavit was one of those sort of horses. He could bob up and create an upset. Yes, but I don't think he'll ever be remembered in the annals of the all-time great.
Counting down quickly now, getting close to the big ones. Be back shortly.
Join host Adam Olsanski for TVN's brand new show, The Jumps.
Hello and welcome to The Jumps.
With Shane Templeton and Sammy Hyland, the boys look at everything jumps.
This is a record that stood for 40-something years. He's just a great horse, a great jumper, and it was a great feat to make it 10 hurdle wins on the trot.
Watch all the news, previews and reviews on The Jumps. That's exclusive on your home of racing, TVN.
The thing about winning races is it's good prize money, and the Bob's bonuses make it all that much better.
Over $10 million in cash and double up vouchers has already been paid out this season.
You have to buy a horse that's eligible for the scheme, so it's a horse that is by a New South Wales-based stallion.
Bob's bonuses are the way to go.
Buy with Bob's, race with Bob's. Visit racingnsw.com.au for details.
Getting Bob's is a no-brainer.
We've got some even more exciting horses to come. Let's take a look at them. At number 3, we have the 2007 Chipping Norton Stakes. What a race. We had Desert War an error mine, but the winner, he was at 80 to 1. Zach Purton on He's No Pie Eater. What a performance. And it was no fluke, because at his next start, He's No Pie Eater won the Group 1 Rosehill Guineas.
He's No Pie Eater slips up along the rail, and then came Timawana County Tyrone. Waltham Cross as well back, and Confectioner after missing the jump still back near the tail. 800 metres to go. Desert War the leader, just being nigged along to increase his lead. 2.5 on Mentality, the 3-year-old tracking him up. Bay Princess dropping off now, and then came He's No Pie Eater. Now Boss starts to get busy on Eramini, starting to make his move around the outside, going past Grand Zulu. Then came Confectioner County Tyrone, Timawana, and Waltham Cross last of all. Desert War heads up for home, looking for another scalp at the 1600 metres. Mentality's right there a length away. Eramine on the outside is further back from He's No Pie Eater. It's Desert War in front, but he's under siege as Mentality and Eramine loom up, and He's No Pie Eater might be a fly in the ointment on the inside. He's No Pie Eater, Mentality, Desert War and Eramine. He's No Pie Eater hit the front, and He's No Pie Eater in an upset wins it from Desert War or Mentality.
Graham Rogerson, He's No Pie Eater. I think we all thought it was a fluke when he won the Chipping Norton, but then he came out and won the Rosehill Guineas to prove that the Chipping Norton wasn't a fluke. I don't think you remember him as one of the top class horses, but geez, he was a handy horse on his day, and I know he wasn't the favourite of the punters that day, He's No Pie Eater.
In the good old days, when you didn't get on a dole queue, to be seen on a dole queue or be getting a handout was a social disgrace. They used to give away free pies in the Domain, like a soup kitchen. And so anybody that was seen having a free pie at the Domain was a pie eater. And after that, if you went to the cricket ground, and a batsman wasn't pleasing somebody, say, "Oh, you're nothing but a pie eater." Well, He's No Pie Eater. Well, on the day, he wasn't a pie eater, but ironically, he came out of the Gosford Guineas, the much weaker Gosford Guineas, a couple of days earlier, because he was balloted out. So he did run in this race. He did create an upset, and well, he was no pie eater.
Well, He's No Pie Eater went into this race first up. He'd had a pretty reasonable campaign as a 3-year-old. He'd campaigned in Melbourne and run 7th in the Vars, but he went into this race first up at long odds. But he proved it was no fluke by coming out and winning the Rosehill Guineas at his next start. He's No Pie Eater.
Number 2 in our big upsets is the 2011 Doncaster Mile Prelude. Now here was an upset. The winner was 150 to 1. He'd won 3 races in the UK, but he'd never raced in Australia, and he wasn't expected to sprint well fresh. But he did. You watched Dwayne Dunn get a brilliant run on My Kingdom of Fife. 150 to 1.
In My Kingdom of Fife and Leprechaun in the centre, 2 to Altered Boy, and then Pagan Princess and Vision and Power last of all. Plenty of speed on as they reached the first bend, and Glints raced away, led by 2.5. Brilliant Light chasing it, and then a similar gap away third. We've got Hidden Wonder on the inside of Mentality, then Empire's Choice. Bold Glances off the track from Viking Hero. Then Herculean Prince is out 4 wide on a limb. Leprechaun and Snow Alert underneath it, followed by My Kingdom of Fife, and then Altered Boy, Pagan Princess, and last of all is Vision and Power. Well, they've really clapped the speed on these leaders. Can they keep going? It's Glints by a length on Brilliant Light. 2 to Hidden Wonder. Mentality's under the stick, followed further back by Empire's Choice, Viking Hero. Leprechaun looking to come through in the centre. Bold Glance down the outside, and Snow Alert's pulled to the extreme outside. Brilliant Light led, but Hidden Wonder went up and claimed it. Bold Glance is coming down the outside. Along the inside, My Kingdom of Fife, and Altered Boy is starting to run on from the back. It's Hidden Wonder, Bold Glance, My Kingdom of Fife, and Altered Boy. My Kingdom of Fife went up on the inside to grab Hidden Wonder and Bold Glance, and it's My Kingdom of Fife, the rank outsider, gets up to win it at his first Australian start from Hidden Wonder.
Well, there didn't seem to be much stable confidence around for My Kingdom of Fife. He started at very long odds in this race. He was having his first Australian start. He was formerly owned by the Queen and had run down the track at Windsor at his previous run, but brought to Australia and in the hands of Chris Waller, he was able to take out this Doncaster Prelude in a slogging finish, and it was a big upset at 150 to 1.
The power of Chris Waller, the training of Chris Waller to get this horse to win first up in Australia. That's no surprise that Chris gets most of his imports to win. He won a good race here, but he'd go on and win better races, and sadly we probably haven't seen the best of My Kingdom of Fife because of injury. If you only knew how good he was, you'd have something yourself on him this day at 150 to 1. What a win.
Well, my Kingdom of Fife, I think, emphasises the ability of horses that can be hamstrung by injuries. He was a crock. He had bad legs, bad hooves, look, somewhere around that area. He just couldn't really function to his full potential. But when Chris Waller had him right, he was one hell of a racehorse, which he showed this day, but he didn't hold together.
Okay, we're at number 1. What was the biggest upset of the last 30 years? I think it was the 2001 Mercedes Classic. It was won by a horse called Curata Storm. And what was he doing? Winning a Group 1 2400 metres weight for age race. He was 100 to 1, should have been 1,000 to 1. His only previous win was at the Provincials, and in 20 more starts after this race, he never ran a place. Here's his big day.
Here comes a move from the back. Curata Storm, the bolter, whipping around the outside, and he's raced up and he's hit the lead. Curata Storm from last to first leads by 2.5 lengths on Sky Heights, who was a bit flat-footed when the leader took off. Second coming outside of him, 2.5 to Hill of Grace. Giovanna, then 2.5 to Tie the Knot. He's just on the inside of Showweller at the moment with no galloping room. Then Freemason, well back, Carpstad Way and Shore Blue. 700 metres out in the Mercedes, Curata Storm the leader. Again second coming and off the fence going up in the centre, Sky Heights. 2 lengths to Giovanna. She's had a great run, so too the mare inside of her, Hill of Grace. Tie the Knot's badly poised. He can't get a run at the moment. He's back on the inside. Hill of Grace left the fence and Payne went for the inside run. Then came Showweller, Freemason, Carpstead Way and Shore Blue. Curata Storm at any old odds for John Hawkes and Rod Quinn is well clear at the 300, but here comes Tie the Knot. He's found the gap and he's starting to finish off strongly. Carpstead Way the fence, then came on the outside Giovanna and Hill of Grace. In front is Curata Storm. He's running the race of his life. Tie the Knot can't get him. Carpstead Way might. Curata Storm in front. Carpstead Way lunging. A boil over in the Mercedes. Curata Storm.
Curata Storm went into this race after winning a Class 1 plate at Hawkesbury his previous start. Admittedly, he won it by 13 lengths, but I think most people would have expected that form wouldn't be good enough to win a race like this. And in fact, he won the race, but then he never won another race.
I think he won a lowly race out at Hawkesbury, and then he's won this. Talk about upsets. That was a fair dinkum number 1 upset.
We won't be talking about Curata Storm, or historians won't be talking about Curata Storm in another 25 years.
Okay, well that's my opinion. They're the 10 big upsets. What's yours? You can have your say on the usual TVN social media sites. Thanks for watching Racing's Top 10. The top 10 autumn upsets. We'll see you next time.